Making headlines this hour. Economic Minister affirms the government's commitment to curbing rising commodity prices, emphasizing that affordability of essential goods remains a top priority. Health Minister states that the current administration is implementing development projects for the health sector at an unprecedented scale, unmatched by any previous administration. Lawmakers strongly advocates for a ban on gambling, citing its corrosive impact on productivity and the well-being of the younger generation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Ilham Naeem. The Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Mohammed Saeed, affirms the government's commitment to curbing rising commodity prices, emphasizing that affordability of essential goods remains a top priority.
Speaking on the newly launched Spokesperson's podcast, the minister announced the addition of 23 items to the national list of basic food products, including rice, flour, sugar, 10 types of vegetables, 10 types of fruits, and 3 other key food items. These items will now be managed by the State Trading Organization or STO to ensure nationwide availability at affordable prices. To strengthen distribution, STO has opened a wholesale outlet at the Male Commercial Harbour and plans to open a new store in Hulumale ahead of Ramadan. The government is also establishing a network of STO agents across islands with populations exceeding 3,000 to guarantee access even in remote areas. While acknowledging concerns about potential impact on small businesses, Minister Saeed stressed that STO will look to supply vendors wholesale rather than venture into retail. He added that while 23 items are officially classified as basic necessities, the government will intervene on any high-impact product that becomes unaffordable. To maintain transparency and control, a comprehensive price index is now in place, monitoring the cost of 162 essential items on a daily basis.
Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim states that the current administration is implementing development projects for the health sector at an unprecedented scale, unmatched by any previous administration.
Speaking during a press conference held at the President's office, the minister stated many endeavors are being carried out by the administration for healthcare expansion across the nation. In this regard, the minister stressed the need to alleviate the over-dependency on the capital to meet citizens' healthcare needs and said that many of the development works are being centered towards the progress and expansion of facilities in different regions of the country. Minister Nazim highlighted the importance of having a well-rounded healthcare system in place and pointed out that in the health sector, every department must work in tandem with one another and that each project is interlinked to one another. The minister said that since President Dr. Mohammad Muiz took office, the scale of infrastructural projects in the health sector has reached new levels. He said that during the president's outreach to all the islands, he closely observed the depreciating conditions of the health sector infrastructure and acted by launching large-scale nationwide infrastructural upgrades on existing healthcare facilities. Unpacking the minister's comments, currently, 39 projects are being carried out to develop new hospitals, 90 new health centers are being developed, while simultaneously upgrades and extensions are being carried out at 89 health centers. Among these, 12 projects have finished to completion, while 22 projects are in the planning stage. The planned work includes the building of 8 new hospitals and 5 new health centers, and 9 extension and upgrade works are also included in the planned projects.
The Minister of Health, Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim, states that the State Trading Organization, STO, has diversified the pharmaceuticals being imported to the Maldives in an effort to address the ongoing medicine shortage. The minister detailed that the government is making progress in easing the current medicine shortage, with a large portion of this problem already resolved. In addition to this, more medications will be added to the approved drug list of Maldives as well as the National Essential Medicines list. Minister Nazim stated that the government is working closely with citizens to fully address their concerns. Furthermore, he said that this matter can only be resolved by working in tandem with the governance system and ASANDA, the National Health Insurance Scheme. The diversification of available prescription drugs is a part of the work done to consolidate medicine supply throughout the Maldives. Between 800 and 900 pharmaceuticals will be imported as opposed to the former 200 medicines. Also, treatment guidelines have been intensified with 40 new guidelines introduced in 2025, allowing doctors and healthcare providers to prescribe medicines more effectively. The minister stated that determining a specific company and establishing a specialized system for medicine prescription was the biggest step taken by the government to solve the issue long term. Mali City Group of Hospitals MCGH announces plans to develop the general practice GP clinic in Hemberu ward. This announcement comes considering the government's decision to develop 6 GP clinics across various locations of the Greater Mali area.
The government has planned to develop a total of 6 GP clinics in Greater Mali area, 4 of which will be located in various locations in Mali City and 2 located in Hurumale City. The first GP clinic developed was inaugurated in Mafan Ward in November, with an additional clinic contracted to Fahibiri Ulun Cooperation or FDC to be developed in Aman Udares in Hurumale City. Speaking at a press conference, Chief Executive Officer of Mali City Group of Hospital Ibrahim Abdul Razak Halim revealed plans to commence the development of the GP clinic in Hemberu this month and stated that GP clinic contracted to FDC is being targeted for completion before Ramadan. The development of the government-funded clinics aims to alleviate the waiting time and queues at major hospitals in the city. The clinics will also reinforce the public health infrastructure and expand access to essential services for communities during seasons of flu influx, reducing the burden on major hospitals and allowing them to focus on serious cases. The government has said that the establishment of the GP clinics follows best practices internationally and makes treatment for common diseases and regular checkups more accessible to the residents. The facility will also provide pediatric vaccination, weight monitoring, and patient counseling, X-ray services, blood testing among a number of routine services. The facility also aims to significantly reduce the wait time for patients, and in cases where the patient has to be referred to a specialist, the appointment can be scheduled through the GP clinic, adding to the convenience of those that access this service.
In a decisive move to safeguard the nation's youth and economic future, lawmakers strongly advocates for a ban on gambling, citing its corrosive impact on productivity and the well-being of the younger generation.
The debate centered on a government-proposed amendment to the Penal Code tabled by Hitadu Central MP Ahmad Azan Marzouk, which seeks to criminalize gambling activities. Introducing the bill, Azan highlighted the alarming rise of gambling, particularly among Maldivian youth who are increasingly seduced by the false promise of quick riches. He pointed to international studies demonstrating that gambling severely reduces national productivity and inflicts the greatest harm on low and middle income earners. Echoing these concerns, Deputy Speaker of Parliament and Diggaru MP Ahmad Nazim emphasized the pervasive nature of the issue, revealing that local companies are facilitating international gambling operations by processing small, untraceable transactions. He directly linked the problem to Generation Z, noting how youth are targeted through advertisements, including on popular football jerseys. While expressing broad support for the bill, lawmakers like Wakaradu MP Hussein Ziad stressed that the law must be implemented effectively. He cautioned that merely creating the legislation is insufficient without providing the relevant institutions with the necessary resources and authority to enforce it properly. With widespread cross-party support, the consensus in Parliament is clear. The amendment must be passed swiftly to take rigorous action against the spreading of gambling and to protect the productivity and financial security of the country's next generation.
During the parliamentary extraordinary sitting, lawmakers debates on a proposed constitutional amendment to synchronize the two national polls.
Speaking during the debate, Ibrahim Falal, the majority leader of parliament, and Nguradu MP insisted that the state stands to save over $5 million by merging the presidential and parliamentary elections. Falal acknowledged that the change would require shortening the current 20th parliamentary term by 6 months, but emphasized that the significant financial and logistical benefits for the nation outweigh any individual inconvenience to the members. Citing statistics that place the cost of a standalone parliamentary election between $3.9 million and $5.2 million, Fallah argued that combining the elections would result in direct savings of that entire amount. He further stressed that the timing is opportune as the constitutional amendment bill requires approval via a public referendum. Holding this vote concurrently with the upcoming local council elections in April, he stated, is the most efficient course of action. The government's proposal includes postponing the opening of the next parliament to December, with broad support from many political leaders and a mechanism of a public vote ensuring democratic consent. Falau asserted that there is little justification for opposing the bill, framing it as a necessary measure for the country's economic and administrative benefit.
In a move to strengthen trust and accountability in the national Zakat system, the Maldives Zakat House and the Maldives Monetary Authority MMA signs an agreement transferring the management of the Zakat fund to the central bank.
Speaking at the signing ceremony, Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shaheen Ali Saeed emphasized that the MMA's involvement marks a crucial step in preserving the credibility and transparency of the management of the Zakat Fund. The agreement was signed by Minister Shaheen on behalf of the Maldives Zakat House and by MMA Governor Ahmad Munawar on behalf of the Central Bank. This development follows broader government efforts to reform and institutionalize the Zakat system, including drafting of a dedicated Zakat Act and the establishment of the Maldives Zakat House as a specialized agency. Under the new framework, the Zakat Fund will be held independently from the state's public account and managed in strict compliance with Islamic Sharia principles, with an emphasis on ethical investment and sustainable returns.
Maldives Airports Company Limited, MSCL, confirms that 56 hectares have been reclaimed from Rasmale Site A.
A total of 1,009 hectares is planned to be reclaimed for Rasmale, with a total of 137.5 hectares to be reclaimed for Site A. The reclamation project commenced by the government is to provide a solution to the housing issues that have plagued the country for decades. The work of the land reclamation efforts in Site A of Rasmale began on the 1st of December, with MACL confirming that 1.5 hectares are being dredged each day, and so far 41% of the project has been completed. To advance work across the 12 designated zones, the Maldives Airports Company Limited deployed advanced dredging equipment, including the Cristobal Colon, one of the world's largest trailer suction hopper dredgers. Since its arrival in early December, officials have reported a reclamation rate exceeding 1 hectare per day, with 23 hectares completed in just 18 days. Once finished, development will proceed according to the Rasmale Master Plan, which envisions an eco-city with full municipal infrastructure. The government is currently looking for a consultant to develop the master plan. The government has also revealed the necessary steps are being taken to open the applications for housing schemes in Rasmale.
Visit Maldives Corporation, VMC, reduces membership fees for guest houses aimed at increasing participation from small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs.
Speaking at a press conference at the President's office, VMC Managing Director Ibrahim Shiori said membership fees charged to guest houses have been significantly reduced. Previously, guest houses incurred a payment of $1,000 for membership, but with the proposed changes, small guest houses with less than 25 rooms will have to pay $350, whereas larger guest houses with over 25 rooms will be required to pay $750. Guest houses are required to pay the membership fee at the start of every year. For 2026, VMC will introduce more accessible and lower-priced membership options, enabling a broader range of SMEs across the country to join the corporation's marketing network. These measures aim to ensure that every segment of the tourism sector, large or small, has the opportunity to contribute to and benefit from the global promotion of the Maldives. VMC will also reduce participation fees for roadshows and promotional activities for resorts, guest houses, travel agencies, and liveaboards. In addition, SMEs will have access to flexible non-physical participation options, including digital showcases, representation services, and shared lead generation support, allowing businesses to engage in international markets without traveling overseas. To further support industry partners, VMC will facilitate content trips and high-quality content sharing initiatives, enabling resorts and guest houses to receive professional marketing assets. This collaborative approach strengthens both the destination's content library and the visibility of individual operators.
European stocks kicks off the week on a firmer footing as U.S. military strikes on Venezuela stirred fresh geopolitical concerns and sent investors piling into defense industry stocks.
The advance coming after a holiday lull highlights expectation of structurally higher defense spending despite some recent weakness in the sector's stocks driven by speculation over a potential ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. The pan-European Stoxx 600 climbed as much as 0.6% to 599.65, a record high. The defense index rose 3.3% to its highest level in nearly 3 months. Technology and basic resources were also up 2.3% and 2.1% respectively. Germany's stock benchmark DAX 2 scaled a new record high, last up 1% with defense manufacturer Rheinmetall leading the index with 7% gain. The DAX was up 0.8% and stood at 24,736 points.
Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghi condemns the U.S. military attack on Venezuela.
During a press conference in Tehran, Baghi said those parties that committed this crime, this act of military aggression, must be unquestionably be held accountable for the international community. Venezuela's deposed leader Nicolas Maduro's detainment and removal to the U.S. on Saturday following a military raid in Caracas has fueled expectations of what is likely to be one of the largest and potentially most complex civilian debt restructuring of all time. Earlier on Saturday, Iran Foreign Minister in a statement called the U.S. attack on Venezuela as a blatant violation of its national sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Venezuela's acting president offers to collaborate with the United States on an agenda focused on shared development, striking a conciliatory tone for the first time since U.S. forces captured the oil-rich nation's president, Nicolas Maduro.
In a statement posted on social media, acting President Delcy Rodriguez said her government was prioritizing a move towards respectful relations with the United States, having earlier criticized the raid on Saturday as an illegal grab for the country's national resources. Rodriguez, who also serves as oil minister, has long been considered the most pragmatic member of Maduro's inner circle, and Trump had said she was willing to work with the United States. Publicly, however, she and other officials had called the detentions of Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, a kidnapping, and Maduro remains the nation's legitimate leader. Trump told reporters on Sunday that he could order another strike if Venezuela does not cooperate with U.S. efforts to open up its oil industry and to stop drug trafficking.
The Premier League club giants Manchester United says they have head coach Ruben Amorim a day after they were held to a draw by relegation-threatened Leeds United.
Manchester United are 17 points behind leaders Arsenal and have won only one of their last 5 matches. The decision comes a day after Amorim had bristled at questions about his job security, delivering a defiant message that he came to the United as a manager with full authority and not merely a coach taking orders. Amorim had looked downbeat on Friday when discussing potential transfers, and after Leeds draw, the Portuguese coach grew visibly irritated when pressed about whether he still had the board's confidence. The 40-year-old cut off reporters with a sharp rebuke after selecting information before launching into emphatic defense of his position. Amorim made clear he has no intention of walking away from Old Trafford, repeatedly emphasizing his managerial authority over simply coaching duties.
The annual Kambala Festival, or the Buffalo Race, was held in India's southern Mangaluru city, attracting huge footfall.
Over 150 of buffaloes from Dakshina Kannada, Udupi and Kasaragod regions participated in the race.
So Kambala is sort of an identity for us. Kambala is part of our lifestyle. Kambala is also a part of a belief for us. So in that regard, this year, since it is the 9th edition, we are trying to do 9 different activities so that people from all walks of life, people from all strata of the society, and also people from different age groups participate in this Kambala.
The race is typically held after paddy harvest, and the winners this year are set to be awarded gold prizes. The Kambala or Kambula is an annual buffalo race held in the southwestern Indian state of Karnataka. It is similar to Maradami of Kerala. The Kambala season generally starts in November and lasts until March. The Kambalas are organized through Kambala Samitis, Kambala associations. Over 45 races are held annually in coastal Karnataka.
That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.